Kobbie Mainoo in the middle.
Kobbie Mainoo.
Kobbie Mainoo.
Mainoo.
Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo.
Go on, Kobbie.
Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo.
Kobbie Mainoo is one of the most talked about players in the country right now, and rightly so. The Stockport-born midfielder has had a meteoric rise this season, which has seen him become not just one of the best players for the biggest club in the land, but also, after a smashing full England debut, a player that even our rivals are saying should start for Gareth Southgate's team in the Euros.
We know for a fact this kid's on the plane now, I think on the back of last night, and you're actually looking at that first 11 and thinking...
But how has an 18-year-old risen so quickly? How, in less than 6 months, has he gone from a player many thought would be a fringe member of the United squad to someone who is now considered vital for both club and country? And what's the one comparison that many people might be reluctant to make but could prove to be the most accurate? Mainoo has been compared to the likes of Roy Keane.
The most impressive thing for me about Kobbie Mainoo is his decision making. People are going to take this the wrong way because it's the internet, but it. Like, he's got that Roy Keane-ness about him where he just keeps it extremely simple.
He's a less aggressive Roy Keane.
Wow, wow. He's a more disciplined Roy Keane. And even Owen Hargreaves. But one comparison by a former teammate may be the most accurate for all the right reasons.
Owen Hargreaves was a great tackler in midfield. He'd go and take the ball off people. He's got that about him where he goes and takes the ball off people. Because if me and you were playing against Doku and Doku was running out...
Once he's gone, he's gone.
Once he's gone, we ain't getting back at him. And also, we drop off him to make sure that he's making pass it. He will go and think, I'm going to take the ball off Doku. There are very few players like that.
Anthony Elanga claimed in an interview that he thought Kobbie Mainoo most resembled Paul Pogba, a player who was once considered a driving force of the United team and one of world football's biggest stars. We all know how things panned out for Paul Pogba, and whether his time at United was the success it should have been is a debate probably for another video, and one, in all honesty, I've got bored of having over the last 8 years. But are the comparisons between Kobbie Mainoo and the former World Cup winner fair?
He reminded me in a way of when I used to watch Pogba in the the reserves at the time. It wasn't even under 21s, it was just the reserves. You know, he's getting tackled, he's shrugging people off, and he's playing amazing balls. The amount of times he put McNeil or Garnacho through, like I said, they had so many chances and he was the one putting the ball through. It was ridiculous.
Well, in terms of their youth career, you can see the similarities. Both won the FA Youth Cup, playing a vital role in United's midfield. In terms of styles and even appearance, they both look quite different. Pogba, tall, slim and somewhat gangly. Mainoo, although he's not as small as some people make out, is more compact, but they do share similar traits. Both players are comfortable running with the ball at their feet. They're both capable of short and long passes that can either unlock defences or help keep possession. And whilst you wouldn't call either of them prolific goal scorers, you wouldn't bet against them if they were through on goal.
He's going to set the world alight at one point.
What sort of position does he play on?
He's deep. He's like what you'd say now is a number 6.
Right, okay.
But he goes forward with it, and he just picks people out, and he just runs past players, and like I say, he's out muscling them, and he's just pushing them off people and playing amazing balls. I mean, if we finished the chances we had, what we should have finished, he'd probably got 5 assists in the game. Honestly, he put Garnacho and McNeil through multiple times.
It's their ability to run the game from the middle of the park which has drawn the most comparisons, but here you can also see the differences. On his day, Paul Pogba was a player capable of delivering at the very highest stage, but on other days he could be guilty of getting caught in possession, and that sometimes proved costly. At a much younger age than Pogba was when he first broke into the first team, and that was at Juve rather than at Manchester United, Kobbie Mainoo has shown a level of maturity and composure that was often missing from the Frenchman's game. He'd often keep hold of the ball when he didn't need to, whilst with Kobbie Mainoo, we've seen he's got that sort of almost inbuilt ability to know when he needs to give it, when he needs to keep hold of it, when he needs to pick out a pass and when he needs to choose a dribble. That was something that Pogba could often get wrong. Going forward, you could argue with some merit that Mainoo hasn't quite shown the same levels as Paul Pogba. But let's not forget, Mainoo is still only 18 years old, and he's at a much more advanced stage in his career than Pogba was at that same age. Pogba wasn't anywhere near the United first team when he was 18, although to be fair to him, the United first team was a lot stronger than it is now. Off the pitch, the differences between the two players are obvious, and I'm not just talking about the circus that Paul Pogba's career and even his life has become over the last few years, but if you cast your minds back to when he first started at the Reds, he never truly seemed settled at United. It always baffles me how with Pogba, some people were always surprised that he was never truly committed to staying at United long term. Even when he was a kid, he didn't seem to have that sort of desire to see out his career at Manchester United. But let's not forget, we got him from Le Havre. He wasn't a United born and bred youngster from Manchester. He was someone who we'd got from the French team who were reluctant to let him go, and it actually proved to be a bit of a disputed departure. FIFA getting involved and all sorts of shenanigans going on where Manchester United were accused of being a little bit underhanded in the way they brought Paul Pogba to the club. So it wasn't like he was a player that had been at the club since he was very young. We'd brought him in almost like a signing, and when you sign someone, you can't say, well, you expect them to stay at the club forever. Yet a lot of fans thought that would be the case, and it never was. Getting FIFA involved showed the level of acrimony between the two clubs, and there's no need to get the world's governing football body involved in Kobbie Mainoo's future. He seems completely happy and settled at the club, and has even penned a deal that keeps him at Manchester United until 2027 with a further option until 2028. We never saw that level of commitment from Pogba when he was first at Manchester United. Even acquiring the services of Mino Raiola, the super agent, a man that Sir Alex Ferguson clashed with and said he felt the two were like oil and water. Pogba seemed determined to get a move away rather than staying at United and fighting for a first-team place. Since his time at Juve, of course, Pogba came back to Manchester United, winning a couple of trophies. However, he never really seemed 100% happy and committed to a long-term future at Manchester United. After one of his best seasons at the club, he even spoke about wanting a new challenge away from Old Trafford.
Of course, the biggest story that's come out in the last day, of course, and this one's reported as in the MEN, it's reported everywhere to be honest, is Paul Pogba coming out and saying it could be a good time to have a new challenge.
After everything that happened this season, with my season, then it was my best season of life. I think for me, it can be a big time to have a new challenge somewhere else.
And there was even rumours from Pep Guardiola, none other, that he tried to foster a move to Manchester City.
2 months ago, he offered me Mkhitaryan and Pogba to play with us. Why?
2 months ago.
Yeah. Why he offered, he were interested in Pogba and Mkhitaryan to play with us.
There were also clashes with his manager, Jay Motty, which saw him stripped of the vice-captaincy, and even some drama over social media posts which resulted in a public spat during a training session. Pogba always divided opinion at United. Some fans felt he was our best player and the club had let him down by not finding the right role for him and not surrounding him by players of the same calibre, while others felt he flattered to deceive far too often.
We've got a lot of players now, like Pogba, putting a lot of effort in every single game. People give stick to Pogba. He's by far United's best player. And people hate it again, bro. He's by far United's best player. He is Man United's only world-class player, especially the way De Gea's playing this season.
Even at an early age, you can see Mainoo has a maturity that Pogba often lacked. And being a Mancunian, yes, Stockport counts, you can see he's happy at his boyhood club, while Pogba, it's like Manchester United never truly captured his heart. On the pitch, the two share similar traits, as Anthony Elanga, amongst others, have pointed out. Off the pitch, though, the differences are obvious.